Hello everyone. It's a weekend, Saturday, but I had a couple of things that I had to do for office. So I basically set up my workstation and then I started working. And the next thing I notice is that Boo is with me and then she's just sleeping. And I thought, okay, she slept off, so fine, I can do my work. But since I was not able to concentrate, I thought I would just chant one round. So I was chanting, and then the minute I took my beads, she was sniffing around it, thinking that was something for her or something that she can play with. And it hit me. And I'm like, what the hell am I doing? Okay, I am a dog mom. It's not same as having a kid, of course, but even Budu needs my attention. From Monday to Friday, I'm busy with my work, and if I sit at 9:30, I get up once at around 5:36, and then I sit once again if I have any other works, any meetings, or I just sit for my own sake for another 1 hour between 7 to 8, and then I get up. Now, this whole time, I do not spend time with Buddhu at all. Maybe here and there when I'm getting up to pee or getting myself a bottle of water, I might see her and I might say, "Oh, Buddhu, hi," and the majority of the time she's basically just spending sleeping, snoring very loudly, that is there, but all the time she's sleeping. Now, I thought my baby was lethargic. I thought she was lazy and lethargic, but it's not her fault. It is my fault as a parent. I'm not doing what I have to do. Now, let us talk about this for a minute because this is open for discussion. This is my thought. I just had an epiphany, so I thought I'd make a video about it. Now, kids are used to celebrating everything. This also applies to children, children, human children, and then even dogs, because dogs behave all the time like they are 4-year-old toddlers in humans. So, okay, let us think about it. I have this beautiful niece. I've gone to meet her twice, thrice, and every time she sleeps, I'm like, oh, she's sleeping. Every time she wakes up, I'm like, oh, she's waking up. And then if she just babbles, we're like, oh my god, she spoke. So we basically celebrate this because to us this human being came in with this much of size, and then she's learning everything. She is learning to identify, look, if she looks at me, I am like, oh my goodness, she's looking at me. If she looks at the camera, I'm like, oh my god, you're looking at the camera. So the freaking out element is there because you're like just super duper impressed. Now, I was just thinking, was I like that with Boo? Yes, I was. When Butu first recognized a non-vegetarian treat, I remember her expressions because we were giving her only vegetarian treats back then. So I thought a lot of people kept saying, who came to visit me, said that, oh, Butu is very like thin, maybe you should give her non-vegetarian. Dogs are naturally non-veg, so why don't you do that? So of course, ours is a Brahmin family. We don't eat non-veg, so we obviously cannot bring anything here. So we just got treats. I mean, my in-laws might not have known at that time. I don't even wanna go there, but anyway, I got it for the first time and I presented it to her. The facial expression, she was sitting on shank and she was enjoying because we had just come home. So I peel off the pack, I give it to her, and then of course they sniff everything. So when she did, she went, and then she took it, and then I could see that she loved it. Now, I remember a lot of such moments of hers, and I celebrated that. So every time I bring a new treat, I'm always looking at that kind of expression. But now that she's used to non-veg, she doesn't do that anymore. But I still look for it. So everybody, like kids, so Buddhu grew up and I grew up where I celebrated all of her achievements or experiences. And then when I come home, no matter if I just went downstairs to put dustbin and come back home, she celebrates my arrival because she's like super excited. In her mind, I'm like, you left me, but now you're back. Thank you so much. That kind of feeling is there. So kids are celebrating everything. And now today when I sat down and she was just there lying, and I thought she was sleeping, and when I took my beads and she unilaterally came over to me and is like, oh, what is that? I felt so bad because it is my responsibility. She's my daughter. I have to take care of her. So I basically just started playing with her. It looked like very childish, but I did play with her because I have to entertain her. If I had my human daughter, the one who will come in the future, I know for sure, so who will, if she were there, human babies, we are just like wired in our brain, like, yeah, we have to give attention because otherwise they will make a scene. Dogs on the other hand don't do that. They will look at you, stare at you, and then they will make a little huffing sounds. But if they don't get your attention, they will bark a few times, and then of course you will scold them because they are disturbing you, and then they're like, whatever, I give up, and then they go do that. And the next minute, if you call them again, they will come back because that's how dogs are. They love you to death. So that is what I did. And yeah, and kids are also used to getting your attention for everything. Like I said, anything while they are growing up, like anything that they do is a big deal. We remember the first time Buddhu barked, I was like, oh, she was barking. And the same thing with children as well, like, oh my god, she did that, oh my god, he did that. So they don't understand when that stops. Why did it stop? Why should it stop is what I'm saying. So if you are a parent or you're thinking about a parent, think these terms, like, why should you even stop celebrating certain things? Like, if they have, let us say that I don't like radish. When I was living with my parents and my mom cooked, I never liked radish. So when I ate radish, forcefully, I would expect my mother to celebrate that. I would want her to come and say, good job, you ate it, good job, I'm so proud of you. I want her to say that. There's another vegetable called nukal, I don't know what it's called in English. I hate that as well. And if I eat it, it should be celebrated. They should say. And this went on till I got married. Until I was staying with my parents, they had to tell this to me. It was a celebration. But when I came to my in-laws' place, those things stopped. Like, oh, you ate. Like, I was seen as this paying guest for a few months, years, I don't know. There's a breaking in period anyway. So that happened. So I was like, I felt like an outsider. I was looking for appreciation from Shank because you're married, you're supposed to have children, you're supposed to take care of responsibilities and manage the household and stuff. I don't think it is like that anymore. But now it isn't, because I don't need anybody to appreciate me. I've come to the terms that I don't need anybody to appreciate me. I can appreciate myself. So, and I like being open about my life. I'm an extrovert and I'm socially extrovert. So I put stories on Instagram and I've made a video about that. You can, if you follow me there, you would have seen. Otherwise, you can go see. And yes, and coming to the third point, which is spend time with your kids. Okay, let us talk about our work life right now. Most of us are working for big corporates where the work timing is from 9 to 5, and sometimes, especially Indians, work longer than that. We Indians worship work, and our relatives also worship us because we have a big work. And and right now, to our parents, if you're sitting with a laptop, that means we're working. If you're sitting with a mobile phone, that means we are wasting time. But if you look at our generation, even on mobile phone, we'd be working. So if we see anybody on their phone, we basically just like, are you free right now, can we talk? We go like that. So your kids will get accustomed to that timing. Buddhu is accustomed to that timing. She knows not to disturb me and stuff. But a weekend, I owe her the time. I cannot just go ahead and say, no, I have some pending work, I need to finish it. Like, I have no rights because I decided to have the dog. I will decide to have children. So we owe them the time. I'll give you an example. My mother, after her marriage, after having us and we were all grown up, she did double MA and one MPhil. She is amazing. She took care of the household. I wanted to understand the gravity of this. She took care of the household. My dad did nothing. My dad is this bum who sits in the house all the time. I don't want to go there. My mother took care of everything, cleaning the house, cooking for us, doing laundry. And the fact that I have my own house now, I know how much effort it takes. And sometimes Shank does help me, but unilaterally I take care of everything myself. My mom used to do that all by herself while taking care of two small children. But we were in middle school by then. She didn't have to teach us, but we were into learning things ourselves, but still my mother had to take care of everything. And whatever time she would get, and she is a working lady, by the way, she used to work 9 to 5, and she would still do education. She finished double MPhil, MPhil, and I know how much effort she would sit from 7 p.m. in the evening and work till 11 p.m. At night on weekdays, and morning should get up again, I think at 4 or 5, and then again study. And during weekends like Sundays and Saturdays, she would again sit and work for straight hours, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours. She would sit and study straight. Like I remember one particular day that I was super bored. I'm usually this bookworm, always with books, doing assignments and stuff. That day I was very bored, and okay, I am bored. What do I do? Now, I'm a child in my house. We all know that when we are bored, we go to our parents. Even if we are really old, like even now, if I'm bored, I call my mother. If our friend, like priority, we prioritize, don't we? Like our partner first, then our friends. If they are also not available, then we go to parents. It's a sad reality. That is how we have prioritized our life, unfortunately. So now that I back then I go to her, and my mom's like, look, I'm studying right now, I really cannot entertain you, you go do something else. But I was so angry. Like, it is your duty to entertain me. I had that mentality. I didn't word it properly back then, but I still remember that incident. I was so angry about it. But now I understand. My mother didn't owe me anything. This shows that kids are very selfish. Children are very, very selfish. If you have ever underestimated children, I recommend you don't. They are very smart. They know how to talk to whom, they know how to behave, like what with whom. Even dogs do. Buddhu likes Shank, actually Jankar first, then Shank, then Anka, then Jay, then auntie, then maybe uncle, and finally me, because I am the only person who used to discipline her, yes, I used to hit her, but that's another video. I can explain that. But I am her final priority. But even though she likes me the least in the family, and I am not even sad about this list, I'm totally fine with that. She wants my attention, but she needs me around. If I go out, she will demand that I take her with me. If I bring something, she wants to know what is in there. So she thinks that she owns me and I'm hers, which is totally true. I am her mother, so it is there. So I owe her time, weekend. Even though I'm choosing to work, I'm stealing away the time that I could actually be spending with her. Now, in one way, I also want to teach my husband. Like, I'm pretty sure he doesn't watch my videos anymore, but if he does see or anything, my husband works very hard. He works like 10 hours a day. His work is very hectic. So when he comes home, he just wants to rest. But Butu is super excited when she sees him. And I have observed that once he comes, and the whole excitement it's like just maximum 15 minutes. That's it. After that, he's on his own and she's on his own. But on the other hand, if it is with me, she needs my attention at least for half an hour. Like, she needs treat from me. She needs me where she keeps a eye on me when I'm changing clothes. She wants me to talk to her. She will keep looking at me. She'll keep demanding attention from me. What is it? I don't know. But what I'm trying to tell my husband is that I know you work very hard. I know that on a Sunday you want to sleep in and everything. Totally fine. But take at least an hour and walk with her. She does not walk with me, and she doesn't trust me. I took her for a walk once. She basically ran away from me. That's another long story. And she goes with Shank. He says that she still resists, but I don't think so. I mean, not as much as it's a relativity. So all I want to say is take time off with your children. Prioritize, make time for your family and your friends, and especially your children, because they trust you. You are their world, at least until they hit the peak of teenage years, which is like 16, and then they don't want you. Until then, you be there. Uske baad you can rest. Buddhu is also the same. She's sitting there right now. We were playing till now, and she got tired because my Buddhu got tired. This should tell you that how much we don't play with her, how much we don't entertain her. She got tired after like 15 minutes, and she's like, I need to rest. which is so sad. It's like it's an eye-opening moment for me, eye-opening experience for me, and I want to promise myself that yes, on a weekend I will not try to work. I still have priority works. I will finish them once Buddhu goes to sleep, but otherwise I will try to make sure that I spend time with her, but also have time for myself and for the house, like couple of hours for the house, couple of hours for me, do something that I like, but also prioritize children, because being a parent is not an easy feat. It's not about just giving birth and then expecting grandparents to take care of them, and it's a full-time job. And even in a full-time job, you should be able to take a couple of hours for self help and mental health and everything. We can do that same thing too. And Buddha is giving me all this practice as being a parent, so I know what I shouldn't be doing when I become one, which I do crave to be. So yeah, I thought I'd share this with you. Let me know what you think, because I'm open for discussion about this, because this is what I felt like when I saw Buddhu's face when I took my beads, and she's like, "Oh, what is that?" And I'm like, "I thought you were asleep," and she's like, "No, what is that?" And I'm like, "Oh my god, I am so sorry. I should be thinking more than just work, because this can wait till Monday too. Like I might hear from a few people like, oh, you should have sent it on Friday, but it's already Saturday." But yeah, let me know.